over some stuff we did today in class. So we have an entry task. Get out my pen to draw with. I'm going to use red. And it says solve for x. So we want to find x, and we're going to do this where we have PEMDAS. Sorry, it is hard to write with a mouse. Okay, and when you're dealing with equations, you're actually going to go the opposite way, and sometimes, I hate saying that because sometimes you do start parentheses when there's distributive property. But I usually look for the simplest thing because you want to have your variable on one side by itself and you want to have constants on the other. That's really how I would put it. So having this, and then I just want to see constants on the other side. Okay, now to do that, I have to get rid of the constant from this side. Which is right here. I want to get rid of this. That's how I'm going to start first, right? Because that 5 is kind of connected to this right now. It's actually a 1/5 coefficient. So I'm going to get rid of this 3 by adding 3 to both sides of my equal sign. Okay, so that I get rid of that, and I have x over 5 equals 10. And now I still want x alone. I want to get rid of this 5 denominator, or 1/5 x, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Okay, so we have x equals 50. And I'm sorry, this is so sloppy. I need to get an Apple Pen. Okay, our second one, we had distributive property. So we distributed our 3 to the inside terms. So 3 times x was 3x. 3 times -8 is -24. And that equals x plus 4. Now again, we want to see variables on one side and constants on the other, or numbers on the other, right? I'm going to pick this variable to move because I like moving the smaller variable, right? The variable with the smaller coefficient first. That's how I should say it. The variable with the smaller coefficient. So let's get rid of it on both sides. We're going to subtract x. And we end up with 2x here minus 24 equals 4. Now I still want to get this x alone. So I'm going to add 24 to both sides, right? I know it looks like I'm skipping that step, but I'm not. 4 plus 24 is 28. Okay, now my x is still not alone. I'm going to divide out that 2, right? It's inverse operation, and x equals 28 divided by 2, which is 14. Okay, that was our entry task. Now we're going to take a look at the I.O. we did today. And our I.O. is students will be able to write expressions from word problems, okay? An expression we know looks like an equation, but it doesn't have an equal sign, right? You're not finding anything it's equal to, you're just simplifying, okay? We're turning English into algebra. So this was the problem we worked on as a group. Ashanti and Maria went to the store to buy snacks for their back-to-school party. They bought bags of chips, pretzels, and nachos. They bought 3 times as many bags of pretzels as bags of chips, and 2 fewer bags of nachos than bags of pretzels. If x represents the numbers of bags of chips they bought, express in terms of x how many bags of snacks they bought in all. Okay, so I have some stuff highlighted here. They bought 3 bags, right? They bought 3 times as many bags of pretzels as chips. So we know our bags of chips, right? We're putting them in terms of x. So we put an x here. Okay, and our pretzels, it says we have 3 times, or they bought 3 times as many bags Times is another way to say to multiply, right? So 3 times as many bags of pretzels as chips. So 3 times, right? 3x. And then nachos, it says, and 2 fewer not bags of nachos than bags of pretzels. Well, bags of pretzels is 3x, right? But we have 2 less than that. We have 2 fewer. So fewer, I'm going to put -2. Okay? You might have set this up differently because everyone thinks a little different, but at the end, you should end up with something that looks along these lines that are in the same variable. So we want to know how many bags of snacks in all. Well, we have bags of chips, we have bags of pretzels, and we have bags of nachos. Sorry, again, I need an Apple Pencil. This is hard with a mouse. Okay. Now I'm going to combine like terms. X plus 3x plus 3x, right? That gives me 4x. Sorry, not 4x. I don't know why I said that like that. Okay, that gives me 7x. I'm sleepy. 7x, right? And -2. And that's our expression in terms of x. Okay. We kind of had like a strategy for solving these, turning English into algebra. You want to read the whole thing first and maybe do a sketch of the problem if you can. I highlight the important information, right? Assign a letter or assign letters for the values and find a workout formulas. You should write down what is actually being asked for so you know where you're going and when you have arrived, right? And then you also have some keywords that help you out. And this is all going to be posted in the video. You'll be able to see it in the video as well. Okay? All right, our Think Pair Share question was, Owena gets paid $280 per week plus 5% commission on all sales for selling electronic equipment. If he sells N dollars worth of electronic equipment in 1 week, which algebraic expression represents the amount of money he will earn that week? So what do we need to find, right? We need to find the amount of money in an algebraic expression, the amount of money he'll earn in a week. What do we know? Well, we know his pay, right? He gets paid $280, right? Plus 5% of his sales. Okay. Well, how do I represent 5%? 5% or 5 over 100 is represented as 0.05. And if you put in the calculator 5 divided by 100, that's what you get. So you know anything that doesn't have a 5% is wrong. So now you know that you're working with just those two answers. And we know his base pay is 280, right? That's kind of a constant. It's not changing, right? So I kind of automatically note it's 3 because that's the only one that has 280 not being multiplied, not changing, right? And so I know it's that one. But if I want to continue, I would say 500% of all sales. Well, he sells N dollars, right? So it's 5%. Decimal right there, of sales, which is N dollars, right? And we have 280. And that really actually goes over here. Use the information given to come up with a solution. Okay, so now I leave you with your questions. You are doing 1 to 6 in class. Tomorrow we'll go over them, but you're doing 1 to 6 for homework. You should feel a little bit better about doing it. And we'll do the exit ticket tomorrow, which you know gets graded. Okay.